Okay, guys, so far we are going to take a closer look at how we differentiate the sign of a certain function. How do you differentiate sign of f of x? Okay, for us to find the derivative of sign of f of x, all what we need to do, we need to find the derivative of f of x first. Once we have the derivative of f of x, we multiply by the derivative of sine of a sine function. Remember, the derivative of a sine function gives us cosine function. So we multiply by cosine of f of x. So if we simplify this, the derivative of f of x is just the same as f of x prime times cosine of f of x. So yes, whenever you're differentiating the sign of a certain function, or what you need to do, find the derivative of f of x first. Once you have f of x prime, multiply by the cosine of f of x. Okay, that's all. But let me reinforce this concept further by means of an example. What if we want to find the derivative of sine of, say, sine of 3 minus 7x? Okay, for us to find the derivative of sine of 3 minus 7x, the very first thing that we have to do, we need to find the derivative of 3 minus 7x. And the derivative of 3 minus 7x, using the rule, remember the derivative of x to the power of n basically give us n x to the power of n minus 1. So if you use that law here to differentiate 3, we get 0. If you differentiate minus 7x, we ended up with minus 7. That result that we get, we multiply by cosine of that function, which is cosine of 3 minus 7x. Okay, if we simplify this further, by the end of the day, we get minus 7 cosine of 3 minus 7x. So yes, that's the result. So simple and straightforward. We are differentiating the sign of a certain function, or what we have to do is differentiate that function and we multiply by cosine of that function. Like in this case, we differentiated 3 minus 7x, we got minus 7, and that result we multiplied by cosine of 3 minus 7x. But, okay, I think I need to reinforce the concept again by means of another example. Okay, in this case, let's take a closer look at the derivative of sine, right? Sine of e to the power of 2x plus plus probably 2 root x. Okay, how are we going to differentiate this function? So as you see here, we've got sine of a certain function. How do we differentiate the sign of a certain function? The first thing that we have to do, we have to differentiate that function and we multiply by cosine of that function. So in this case, we need to find the derivative of e to the power of 2x plus 2 root x first. Okay, what do we get? What do we get? Okay, let's start by taking a closer look at e to the power of 2x. How are we going to differentiate e to the power of 2x? Remember, in another lecture, we said that the derivative of e to the power of f of x is basically equivalent to the f prime of x times e to the power of f of x. Yes, that's how we differentiate an exponential function. So here, for us to differentiate e to the power of 2x, the first thing that we have to do, we need to differentiate the power, and the derivative of 2x here is going to give us 2. So we take that 2 and multiply by the function, which is e to the power of 2x, like we see in this rule that we've covered in another video. So here, e to the power of 2x, the derivative of e to the power of 2x is 2 times e to the power of 2x plus, okay, what about the derivative of 2 root x? So remember the derivative of 2 root x, if we're looking at the derivative of 2 root x, mathematically this is the same as 2 times the derivative of root x. And remember, when you're talking about the root x, we differentiate root x using this rule. Remember, root x, if we say root x is basically the same as x to the power of half. So the derivative of x to the power of half, by the end of the day, this derivative of x to the power of half, it will give us 1 over 2 root x. So yes, here if we look at the derivative of root x, we're going to get 1 over 2 root x times this other 2. So the 2 and the 2 cancels out. So by the end of the day, the derivative of 2 root x is 1 over root x. Okay, so this is the result that we get if we differentiate the function that we have inside the brackets. So e to the power of 2x plus 2 root x, the derivative of that function, we got 2 times e to the power of 2x plus 1 over root x. So this result that we get, this derivative that we get, we multiply by cosine of that function, cosine of e to the power of 2x plus 2 root x. Yes, that's how we differentiate sign of a certain function. As you see here, by the end of the day, this will be our result. This is very interesting. So bear in mind that whenever you see sign of a certain function, all what you need to do is to differentiate that function and then you multiply by cosine of f of x. Very interesting.